We're 2 seconds in, and you're already insulting my cauliflower ears.
Well, since I'm pretty bad too, I guess I can make the joke, you know?
Bryce, I just want to say thank you for your time. Obviously, I'm sure you're very, very busy right now. You're stepping up on short notice. UFC 296 taking on Josh Emmett. Tell me how this came about.
Well, I just got really lucky, and that's really all that there is to it. And this is the first time I've been presented with an opportunity of a short notice fight. As far as what I can remember, maybe they did in the past, and I said no. I can't remember any offers of one, but it just really made the most sense, brother. And I thought about it, and I wasn't expecting it to happen so fast. But you know, kind of like I've heard your story, brother. You're out there drinking 2 weeks out before that Rocco fight. And see, I wasn't even drinking, so I'm not even as badass as you. So, I mean, it's really.
Come on. So, yeah, I mean, we saw it, right? Giga Chikadze was sparring or hitting pads or something, and he tears his groin, hits the floor immediately. So how short is this? What, like 10 days?
Yeah, but about 10 days, yes, sir.
10 days. 10 days notice. Josh Emmett, of course, fought for the interim title, right, against Yair Rodriguez. I think he's had one win since then, if I'm not mistaken. He kind of came back. So what's your feelings? I mean, Josh Emmett, he's a tough guy. He's no walk in the park.
Well, he's just durable. He's proven he's fought in a lot of great opponents. And that's what also, on the flip side, makes it, you can't argue it. When I beat this guy, if I beat this guy, I'm proven. And you know it. You'll know it by the results. The results will speak for themselves, and it can't be denied. And so that's why I'm excited about this matchup. And even Barbosa, Edson Barbosa, Bisping, brother, I've never seen anybody kick that hard and that fast in my life. Never. I've never seen it, brother, never in sparring, never, nothing. And I scrape by, beat a guy like Edson, you don't hear nothing. It's crickets. You know, it's like they act like it never happened. And I'm telling you, eventually people are going to realize I can fight with the best. I can beat the best. I believe I am the best. And I'm just trying to convince everybody else of that.
Yeah, well, I don't think you got to convince them too hard. I mean, you're a colorful personality. I love talking to you. When you show up in the octagon, the performances are always electrifying. You're 16-1. And the only loss is to the guy that's facing Alexander Volkanovski. And I know you said you weren't yourself in that fight. You weren't feeling good and all the rest of it. So,
hey, that guy ain't a scrub either. That guy ain't a scrub. That dude is cool. He's sharp.
Far from it.
Exactly. You know, so, and I could do better, I know, on that one. So I'll give my chance to prove that back.
Yeah. I was wrong a second ago. I was just looking it up. So Josh has lost his last two to Ilia Topuria and Yair Rodriguez. And they're not scrubs either. And as you said, Edson Barbosa, you said you've never seen anybody kick that fast. I don't think anybody has. That man is ridiculous.
It's impossible to train for a guy of that speed because, you know, I don't have anybody throwing that kicks that fast and punches that fast and stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, I was just using him as an example of one of the guys that I fought that I feel like I've earned that shot at a number 6 guy. You know what I'm saying? I put in my work, I feel like, and I think the results are going to speak for themselves.
Oh, absolutely, without question. And I'm looking forward to it, buddy. And that's a big fight card as well. Final one of the year, big pay-per-view, lots of stuff going down. But before we get into some of that, because I do want to ask you about one or two things. Recently, I partnered with a company called Legacy Precious Metals. Now, I know a lot of people are going through tough times right now, but if you are fortunate enough to where you have a few dollars left over every month to think about investing, then maybe investing in gold and silver through Legacy Precious Metals might be for you. Now, the stock market, if you follow that stuff, it's all over the place. In fact, it's plummeting right now. But precious metals, they've always held their value or even increased. So, of course, that's something that we're all interested in. Does it have to be a lot of money? It can just be a little bit because it all adds up over time. Now, if you click the link, there is a guide there. It'll tell you all about investing in gold and silver, or you can give them a call and they will answer all of your questions at 866-933-0317. So what's the plan? Josh Emmett, how are you going to approach this fight?
Well, I don't want to get hit at all, but, you know, that's... Brother, I'm just going to go for it, man. I've been waiting for this opportunity. This is the biggest opportunity I've had, and I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna fight with no fear. I'm gonna fight to the best of my ability, and I know this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean, you always do. You always show up, Bryce. You always give it your all. Josh Emmett, he hits hard, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
You kind of alluded to that. Is it just a case of avoiding the power shots, working your own game, mixing in the takedowns, and then basically what will be will be?
That's right, brother. I just feel I'm so well prepared that I'm gonna win, and that's just how I feel about it. And I believe I know how I'm going to win, and I believe I know what to do, and I believe I have that skill set. So I'm confident, and I'm happy. And the opportunity came out of nowhere. I mean, it was just great, brother. And I know this is a whole nother discussion, but, brother, I've been praying on this. I've been praying, God, give me something. Get me out of here. Give me something new in my life. Bam, the call comes. So.
Just like that. It's that easy.
Well, there was a little bit of waiting, man, but after this last fight, man, I didn't know what was going to happen with the next fight, and I was just praying, God, please give me something, give me a good matchup, God, give me something that I can progress, and I don't know where I got this call, so this is a blessing.
Yeah, we'll get to some of that stuff in a minute. You're still in Arkansas?
Yes, sir.
When do you fly to Vegas? Tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you taking the time then, because I'm sure you've got a million things to do. How is Arkansas this time of year? Is it freezing cold?
No, it ain't that bad. The winters ain't as bad as somewhere up north. Like my old lady, she's from Pittsburgh. We're talking, 3 feet of snow? Not right now, but Pittsburgh, it really snows, up north, the northern part of America. In the south, it will, there's occasionally a blizzard. I have had a blizzard where it's like there's no power. I'm out here. There's no communications. I'm out here in my trailer. I got my wood stove over there, and I just keep putting logs in it and staying warm. I'll cook beans and rice over that wood stove. And, hell, I'm in a trailer, okay? So it's not like when my plumbing, okay? It stores in a tank that it's exposed to the cold, and then it drains into a septic underground. But what I'm getting at is that my shit tank will freeze up. I have to go shit outside in the snow. I shit outside in the snow and cover it up with snow, like the dogs do, and then I'll get that wood stove, keep putting that wood in there and cooking beans and rice on it, and just if I get snowed in, brother, I'm gonna have a great time.
I mean, it's character forming, right? I mean, you got to go out there. It's cold. You got to shit in the snow. You got to cook your own rice, cook your own beans. You know what I mean? Just don't throw any shit on there by accident. You know what I mean? You grab a bit of snow to cool it down. You're like, oh, fuck, what's that smell? It's a simple life that you live, though, Bryce, and that's through choice, right?
Right, brother. And it's all about trying to be as self-sufficient as possible just to get away from the economic slavery that we're going through. I mean, it's just, and I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but I do believe that the economy is going to get worse and worse. Wages are going to get worse and worse. Inflation is going to get worse and worse. And it all culminates towards that mark of the beast, to where if you don't take this mark or do this, you can't even go to the stores anymore. And so I'm just trying to prepare me and my family the best that I can to fight the mark of the beast as long as possible.
Yeah, well, good for you. I mean, that's what we're all trying to do, right? Take care of our families to the best ability. Yep. The last time we spoke was in the octagon-ish, kind of. We spoke a little bit on social media. I had your people coming for me in a vicious way. My wife still gets DMs. My wife, seriously, they DM my wife saying that I am a cyclops sent from hell. I am the Satan. I am a demon. You know what I mean? And she needs to get away from me because I was told we had to wrap the interview. Do you know? And people are like, Bisping's a prick. He didn't let them pray. It wasn't my call. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've got to move on with the TV show. Hey, I'm just saying you got passionate fans, brother. They got passionate fans. My wife's thinking about leaving me.
Yeah. Hey, dude. Well, I hate to take responsibility for all that stuff.
It might be my fault.
Because, but I tell you what, dude, I guess my aunt is crazy. My cousins are crazy. All of them is crazy. But, and they weren't the people that were sending those messages. But
oh, no, I know. I hope not.
But man, let me tell you, none of those people would ever really do you any harm, and none of those people that said that would ever say it to your face. And and you know what did I say to you after the fight? I told you that how much I respected you just for having me on the podcast, and how am I going to call you a Cyclops with my eyes fucked up too? I'm
brother. What's going on with your eye?
No, I mean it was just in that night.
Yeah.
How am I going to be making fun of you for having a hurt eye?
Nah. I give a damn. I was just having some fun. I've just brought that. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. You know what I mean? So we're just trying to get a bit of banter going. That's all.
Yeah, I hate that, and there's a way to say that stuff without being so disrespectful. Them calling you Satan and Cyclops and shit like that.
Maybe I am Cyclops. Maybe I'm here to test those people. You know what I mean? Let me ask you this. I did have a thought I wanted to talk to you about. And I'm not trying to do this stuff just to stir stuff up, but I have thought about this since you were on the podcast.
Thank you so much, dude, because I've been thinking about you. I've been praying over you, and I'm so glad to hear that you thought about our conversation. That means it was a valuable conversation, because it was to me.
Yeah, well, no. Listen, you got a great sense of humor, and we have a talk, but there's real stuff behind it as well. You know what I mean? So, and I respect that, Bryce. I do, and I respect everyone's beliefs, as we said. But remember when you said to me, "Do I believe in evolution?"
Yes.
And I said yes.
Yes.
And what did you say?
It's bullshit. It's a lie from Satan.
Okay. No. You said, do I believe in monkeys? Do I believe we came from monkeys? I don't believe we came from monkeys. I believe that, we descended from apes or whatever. And you said that's bullshit and all the rest of it. And Anthony Smith was on there. And Anthony, God bless him, because last night didn't go his way.
I've been praying for him to heal up too, brother. We've been praying for him.
Yeah, that's the fight game. It's how we go.
Oh, yeah, dude. He's tough, man. He's going to act like it doesn't even bother him. He's tough.
Yeah.
He's tough.
He's a big boy. That's the game we play. It's the game we play. But Anthony was like, well, hold on a minute. If evolution is real, because that same conversation, he's like, well, how come we've stopped evolving now? How come it isn't continuing? And I was thinking afterwards, I'm like, well, no. It is continuing all the time. We're just not aware of it right now. And I think like the next stage of evolution, and I don't like it, is going to be this AI and all this bullshit. And in 100 years from now, we're going to be like sentient beings.
Okay, now hey, we're on the same page with that. Okay, I'm glad we agree on that, because yes, we that robot stuff is going to evolve. Okay, but with the evolution, here's what I want to break it down is that there's the micro and the macro, and the macro is more like over the course of billions of years, which I don't even believe things are billions of years old. That's a whole different.
The universe isn't billions of years. It's got to be, Bryce.
No, they're making up numbers. They can't even count to a billion. They want to tell seriously, these guys can't count to a billion, and they want to tell you that they know what was going on a billion years ago. How arrogant of them to think that they actually know that things were existing a billion years ago when they can't count to a billion. Where if I say the world probably was 6,000 years old, civilization, we don't have any proof that anything is older than 6,000 years old to 10,000 years old. If I say that, then I'm a nut. But and I'm not saying those people are nuts that think that. I'm just saying they could be wrong. Both sides could be wrong. Okay. And so, what I want to talk about the evolution that I know is true is that micro, that short evolution that we see and it's provable, shoot. And this is just one thing. How white people have a smaller nose opening than black people? Okay.
I wasn't aware, but okay.
Well, like a lot of black people or African Americans, they're brown, they're not black, they're brown. But
sure.
African people, yes, that have a wider nose. That is because they are from a hot climate, and in a hot climate, you need to suck in more air to cool yourself. It's like your nose is radiating coolant through your system, so all the time. Sure. But they don't have a winter in those countries. They don't have a winter, so these more European, these northern people, their skin becomes a different color because of the sunlight, the difference in the sunlight, and then their noses get smaller. Their noses get smaller. So, because you don't want to breathe in cold air. with the big intake like that during the middle of
Right.
the winter.
So where are we going with this? Right. You're making sense.
I believe that people have evolved throughout different parts of the world to fit their environment. I believe in evolution, but I do not believe we came from monkeys.
Whoa.
Monkeys.
Backtracking, Bryce? Bryce, the backtracker? You believe in evolution after coming at me, giving me all that shit, calling me Satan? I believed a lie. Now I've converted you. You're the first person I've ever converted, and you're a believer of the highest degree.
Well, brother, I
My
believe
power's no limits.
Well, let's just say that there is proof that certain things have evolved, but there's not proof that we come from an animal that has a different number of chromosomes than us. Monkeys have a different number of chromosomes than humans. It's impossible. We can't use machines and things. We can't do that. And that's something that I believe God did. He made us a different being than them. And like wolves come from dogs, right? We know that. We know wolves evolved from dogs. And now that was from selective breeding over time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
People bred these little cute puppies because they like the look of them. Well, those cute puppies have the same number of chromosomes as a mean, scary wolf. So the chromosomes can be linked to each other. You can take it at a microscopic level and say, hey, these animals have this in common, the exact same number of chromosomes. We lack that with monkeys. We're very different creatures. We're very different beings. And, but here's the thing is like that the Big Bang, that was created by a Catholic priest, not an actual scientist. A Catholic priest.
But hold on, but wouldn't that go against everything that they teach, belief in, stand for?
God bless it, brother. You're right. And let me tell you, that is the sign that the Catholic Church has been infiltrated. The pedophiles have infiltrated the Catholic Church. The Satanists have infiltrated the Catholic Church. I have Catholic buddies, and they might hate me for saying that. I don't think they will. I think they will understand what I'm saying. When I talk about pedophiles infiltrating the Catholic Church, Satan infiltrating the Catholic Church, that is a real issue. And I believe that Big Bang was introduced by the Catholic Church to it because it's been infiltrated by Satanists. That's right. And
well, that's certainly an interesting theory because you're absolutely right. When it comes to the Catholic Church, I mean, some of the utter disgusting things that they are responsible for throughout history and still to this day, and they do a great job of covering up a lot of their just heinous crimes that I don't even want to go into, but we both know what they are.
Right,
Young children have suffered for so long. But just going back to something you said there, look, listen, when it comes to the Big Bang and all the rest of it, I said this on the podcast, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, and I tend to believe the popular narratives, and of course, it's a narrative. I haven't done the homework, I haven't done the study, but a lot of people smarter than me have. Now, before you were talking about billions of years and all the rest of it, I believe they use carbon dating, and that's what they use. Now, again, I don't know how to carbon date something. So I generally believe what people that create things like, rocket ships and airplanes, like we spoke about last time, people smarter than me. But I do know that I can get in an airplane. I do know that we are very smart as a culture and a civilization and as a species. So, it's not that I believe everything the government tell me, because I know they ain't looking out for us and I know they're full of shit. But I think throughout human, throughout the history of the human race, we've come to a place now where a lot of the exceptional individuals that we have are able to figure this stuff out.
And see, I love all the technological advances we've had, brother. And I actually think that after doing a little bit of research on this stuff, we're going backwards in history. We're actually devolving. If you look at the architecture from before, it indicates that there were superior societies with superior technology. And this has all been hidden by the Freemasons. The Freemasons are actually responsible for destroying architecture to hide the truth of the past. And like if you look up in 1893, there was a Chicago World Fair, and we're talking hundreds of brick and mortar buildings that were not just brick and mortar that you see today. I'm talking columns, statues, ornate designs, steeples, you name it. These buildings have been destroyed. I'm telling you, the most beautiful buildings you've ever seen existed in 1893 in Chicago. Those buildings are all but two of them are gone. And the two that are left are like the nicest buildings in Chicago. And so what I'm telling you is that I think that our history has been lied about. I think that they're like, for example, the pyramids. Now, let me tell you.
I was just going to bring up the pyramids because there is a bunch of ancient civilizations that I would probably be easily persuaded to believe that, there was a race that was as intelligent or even exceeded our level of intelligence that failed, that were doomed.
That failed, and that's all that's left is this rubble. And that's what I believe, brother. That's what I firmly believe. If you look at them pyramids, the degree of accuracy they were built with, and we couldn't do that today, brother, especially with Joe Biden running our country. Joe Biden would fuck up.
Joe Biden can't stop 5,000 people a day coming over the border. He ain't building no pyramids, bro. He ain't building no pyramids. That's for damn sure.
Oh, yeah. But we couldn't replicate that today. Our government would screw that up tremendously. And how did those pyramids get there? I firmly believe that we've been lied to about our history, and maybe some of that knowledge has just been plumb lost. But I think that people, secret societies out there, have that knowledge and hide that knowledge.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know. I don't go down those rabbit holes, for want of a better term, and study all this kind of stuff. As I said, I'm one man. I'm just trying to live my best life and take care of my family. But I do feel like, and this sounds like very negative, but as a species, we are ultimately going to fail and we are going to be doomed. You know what I mean? And the end of human civilization will come to an end one day. That's a fact. You see all these memes and they talk about, the earth is going to die. The earth is going to die and we're going to kill it. The earth's going to be just fine. The earth has been here for millions, if not billions of years, right? Let's agree to disagree on that. We're going to die. We're going to die out because of whatever we're doing to the planet or whatever, who knows. But the earth will rebound. It will recover. It will restore itself. There's been I know you don't believe in dinosaurs, right?
I do.
You do?
I do. I believe that they probably walked around with people. But the whole dinosaurs, brother, that could all be a lie because a lot of these dinosaur bones are actually not found full bones. They're partial fragmentations of bones. But I believe there was big creatures in the ground. I don't know dinosaurs, this or that. But, yeah, I believe in the past that there were creatures that don't exist today that did
of course.
I think brother, I think dragons are real. I think dragons.
Yes, Game of Thrones. Let's go, baby. One of my favorite shows.
In the Chinese calendar, every single creature is real, but the only creature that is not real is the dragon. And all these tales talk about dragons, these fire-breathing, flying snakes with armor on their scales. I mean, everybody talks about it. I just think that it could be for real. I don't know, though, but I'm just guessing on that.
Well, throughout all the fantasy, all the books, the movies, dragons are one of my favorites. And there is a year of the dragon in the Chinese calendar. So who knows? Maybe you are correct. Fuck it. And I said last time my wife was a witch. Well, my wife, not so much anymore. When she was younger, she used to get called Khaleesi from Game of Thrones because she looked like her. So she's a witch. She's a dragon lady. She's a fire breather. I said, no wonder I'm a demon. No wonder they're messaging her and saying that she's the demon. She's the real issue in my house. Anyway, Bryce, I would love to go on about this stuff all day, man, because I love talking to you and I love your opinions. And I love that you stand by them no matter what. And you don't give a shit what anyone thinks. These are what you believe in. And that's going to be applauded.
Well, brother, and one thing that you said earlier, and it just came back to me, and I got to get back to it. You said there's no hope for the human civilization.
Well, maybe I misspoke there. Maybe no hope isn't right, but I do believe that at some point we're going to fail.
Turn to robots. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Dude, yeah, you're right. We're either going to fail or turn to robots or just kill ourselves with nukes. And I'm telling you, brother, there is one hope, and that is Jesus Christ. And I'm telling you that people have a soul. And actually, let me tell you about this. And I'll get back to this issue of the soul.
No, please.
I'll get back to it. But when people have near-death experiences, Bisping, almost all of them, there's books about it. And I really want you to look into one of these. And I don't read, but I've been looking at YouTube videos. Look on YouTube videos and type in after-death experiences where people come out. They all report the same thing, having that outer body of experience and having that soul, and then they come back to this body. I believe this is the physical. There's a spiritual. Our hope lies in the future in the kingdom of God. And without that, you're right. You're right. There is no hope. This race, this flesh, this race, it's doomed. We will destroy ourselves because we are guilty of greed, lust. We just can't. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. We'll destroy ourselves because we're sinful beings. But in the spirit, when our spirit leaves these bodies, we can go to heaven and live forever and worship God.
We certainly are little sinning bastards. We are for sure.
Exactly.
But in terms of the near-death experiences, now I don't know the exact science, but from what I've heard, led to believe, that's been spoken about by people way better than me, is that apparently when we're close to death, the brain releases a ridiculous amount of certain chemicals into the brain, and it creates a euphoria to deal with the pain that we are suffering and the misery and what we're going through. And that is interpreted as that we go to these clouds in the sky and you feel like there's a force or something like that. And apparently that's chemicals.
Yes, and that would be the best explanation if the actual explanation wasn't the Holy Spirit and, All
right, yeah.
But that's the naturalistic explanation. But let me tell you, when you use these firsthand testimonies in conjunction with all the other evidence that the Bible is true, such as the chariot wheels, Egyptian chariot wheels in the Red Sea by the hundreds. How did hundreds of Egyptian chariot wheels get into the Red Sea? Well, there's a story in the Bible that tells how they got there. The top of Mount Sinai being burnt. You can type in Mount Sinai and see the top of a mountain in the middle over there in the Middle East. And this mountain is burnt. There's no vegetation on the top of this mountain. How is it burned? There's a story in the Bible about that. And so what I'm telling you, these firsthand testimonies of afterlife experiences, seeing Jesus, talking to Jesus, coming back to the body, and still in conjunction with all the testimonies in the Bible and all the prophecies in the Bible, such as the Euphrates River running dry. Revelation 16, it said that the Euphrates would run dry when the army of 200 million was prepared to cross from the east. And now there's conflict over there in Israel. It's happening. It's happening. And so when you take all of these together, you don't even have to have that Holy Spirit connection with God. You can actually use rationalize. You can rationalize that the Bible is true, and then you can come to know God.
For sure. I understand what you're saying. And if you're a man of God and you're a believer, then of course that's what you're going to feel. But like when you go back to the chemicals and stuff, and that's how we interpret it. Mm-hmm. But that's what chemicals do. That's what drugs, for want of a better term, do. Like I remember when I had my knee replacements, right? And the amount of pain medication that I was having to take was ridiculous. And I remember one night I'm led in bed and it was like 3:00 in the morning. Rebecca's asleep. I'm led there. And I'm like, where's that voice coming from? And I thought, there's somebody in my daughter's bedroom. So I walk over and I stand outside the bedroom and I think, there's no one in there. What the hell? And I get back in bed and I'm lying there and I'm like, I can still hear mumbling and talking. And I thought, there's someone on the balcony, because I have a little balcony off my bedroom. I'm like, what the hell? I open the thing. There's no one there. I get back in bed and I can still hear the talking. And then I started to cry. Because I thought, oh my God, I've got voices in my head. I'm going crazy. I have got CTE. I've got brain damage and I'm going to go crazy. And my wife woke up. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, oh. And anyway, it was the drugs. I was out of my mind and all this pain medication, fucking freaking out, crying in the middle of the night. She goes, Michael, you'll be fine. And in the morning, sure enough, and I haven't heard the voices since. Well, not too often. It's the voices in the head, brother.
Well, and you're right. But what's crazy about these experiences is that so many people have the exact same experience and they meet Jesus. They meet one guy with the name of Jesus. But you got to go, just do a little bit of research on those, on different cases, cases. And you'll see many people that wasn't even Christian, they die. They get pronounced dead. They'll be dead a couple minutes and they get revived by one of them shocking machines or whatever. They wake back up and
but
say,
again, that's science though. That's like sending electricity to kickstart the heart and the lungs and breathe a little bit, not breathe a bit of life into it. That's the wrong term. You're going to misinterpret that. You know what I mean? But it's like, give them a little pump, little jumper cable. Give them a little zip, a little zap. Whoa, fuck, here we go.
Yeah. They wake them up and, but when they all talk about seeing Jesus, that becomes a piece of evidence. These firsthand testimony, like if you're in court and you have all these firsthand testimonies, all of them, I'm not saying that proves one person guilty, because they could all be full of shit, but it is a source of evidence. And every person, if you examine that individual and say this is a credible individual, they have no motive to lie, then that really verifies that as some solid evidence. They still could all be full of shit and just be.
Yep.
They could be.
Look. Yeah, absolutely. My intention here.
It's more likely that they're dying. They're seeing Jesus Christ, because let me tell you what my evidence was, Bisping, is I was just like you. I thought there's no hope for this race. There's no hope.
I just think eventually we're going to have our time. The time's going to come. It might be 1,000 years. It might be 10,000 years. It might be 100 years. It might be bloody 2 years the way it's going on right now. World War III looks like it's going to kick off any day soon. Oh. And Joe Biden's army ain't going to do jack shit. But I did want to have you on here to debate.
Here's the thing: is I don't serve Joe Biden. I serve the Lord.
No, I know it was a joke.
I would never do something evil because Joe Biden commanded me to.
No, I know.
Never. And dude, there's so many patriots in this country, dude, that we would. No,
I know.
We would hate each other.
I was just being silly. I didn't want to have you on here to debate your beliefs. You know my beliefs. I'm not a religious man, and we just got to agree to disagree. And I think that's the great thing about this world. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different people with individual personalities and beliefs and experience, and that's what makes the world a colourful place. 296, right? That's a big one to be on. Have you seen? There's a lot of drama going on in this main card. We got Garry. He's out there talking a lot of shit. He said that right now he doesn't feel safe coming to America with his family because he's been getting a lot of abuse. Have you seen all that stuff?
I have, man. And yeah, he's in the spotlight. So,
well, yeah. I mean, he's talking shit. You're going to get shit back. That's the way it goes. All he's got to do is go out there, beat Vicente Luque, and then he just needs to stop going on about it. We've got Colby Covington. He's taking on Leon Edwards. You know what I mean? How do you see that one going down?
Well, I really think Colby gets it done, and now I know.
No.
I'm a little biased. I know you want Edwards to win, brother. I want Colby to win. I want to see an American champion. I want to see Americans rise again. I'm tired of Americans getting shit on. I'm tired of Americans turning to commies. I want a real American champion. For the love of God, please give us.
You've got one in Sean Strickland.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. God's doing good. Hey, Sean O'Malley, American savage, American warrior. Sean Strickland, American warrior. I'm loving it. I always root for my guys, but do I love Leon? Yeah. Do I know it's going to be a hard fight? Yeah, but I think it'll just be exciting, something new.
No, I'm excited for the press conference because all those guys have got personalities.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's right.
Because Ian's not shy, so he's going to be talking shit. Colby's going to probably end up going at Leon. Paddy Pimblett's on there. Do you know what I mean? So that press conference is going to be insane. It's just a shame that you're not going to be. Are you going to be on the press conference?
Oh, probably not, brother. Probably.
Yeah,
not.
But you would have been great on there.
Well, on this one, I'm just going to enjoy watching it.
Yeah. Of course. So. The plan is you go out there, you beat Josh Emmett. That puts you at 17-1. I mean, that's unbelievable. If Ilia Topuria gets the job done against Volkanovski, that could be down the line for you. How do you see that fight going down, by the way, Topuria and Volkanovski?
I see Volk beating him on points in the first couple rounds and staying ahead on points. Just staying ahead on points. He's going to be hard to finish that Topuria because Volk doesn't have that superior ground game. Like if he could hurt him on the feet, take him down, and then finish him on the ground or something. But he's such a good boxer, and he has great kicks too. Topuria. Volk probably has the edge with the kick diversity and stuff, but what's more important is just the defense of the kicks. And I think Topuria will have a pretty good defensive kicks, but Volkanovski's kick offense and defense is tremendous, and that will help him because that boxing is going to be, a problem at first for Volk. That boxing is very slick. And another thing Topuria does great, conserves his energy, and so that's going to help his chances. But I just think that Volk could get that just a little bit of an edge because of the experience. How can you not favor Volk because you've seen the results? But he is coming off of a hard knockout too.
Yeah, and that's definitely a factor. I mean, as a guy that knows Volkanovski pretty well, and I'm a huge fan of him, and I'm a fan of Topuria. To be honest, I just love this sport, and I love all the different people in it, So, but it is tough when you're coming back from a knockout like that.
Oh yeah,
obviously he stepped up against Islam. He rolled the dice. Who would you rather fight, though? Let's say you get the job done, and I know you're very confident coming into this one, and rightly so. Who would you rather have? Topuria because you get to avenge the loss, or Volkanovski because he's been such a great champion?
Topuria.
Yeah. What would you do differently?
Not even close. It's that I want that one all day because that was my worst performance of all time. Even my backyard fights was bad. I've never had a fight that bad. I've never fought that bad. I've never folded like that. I've never been able to not breathe and not move like that. And, man, it just makes me mad. And I know I could do better, but I don't think people realize how much better I could do than that.
Obviously, I wasn't living in your body and experiencing what you were going through, but I believe you. Have you seen this? Because because fighting's a tough sport, training for a fight is really hard. You know what I mean? I went into fights compromised many times. Do you know what I mean? And like when I lost to George St. Pierre, and I'm not taking away from George, the man is an absolute legend. I'm proud to have fought him, and I'm proud that he was the one that took my belt away from me. But I tore my ribs and stuff going into that fight, and like an idiot, I still went ahead and did it. And if I ever mention that, people are like, oh, full of shit, you're making excuses. No, I'm not making excuses, but it's the reality. Have you experienced those kind of comments, and does it piss you off? And is that what really fuels you to want to get back in there with Topuria?
Yes, that gives me that fuel. And I feel like I've been living a righteous life, and I've been working, and I deserve to perform better than I did that night. And I feel I'm going to get to vindicate myself, if that's the word I'm looking for. I believe that's a real word, vindicate.
Yeah, yeah.
And here's something else I got to say too. I gained a lot of even more respect for you, Bisping. After that last fight, that it was extremely hard to fight with that eye injury. And
oh yeah,
dude, I mean, I can't believe that you're out there fighting with one eye. And then there's a Russian fighter now too, and it's just
Sharabutdin Magomedov or something. I forget how you say his name.
And dude, it's just like life is not fair. You know what I mean? Yeah. But people like you just keep going, and it's so inspiring. It's so refreshing. And I felt just like, man, this is a small taste of some of the pain and sacrifices that other people in this sport have made, and other people in all walks of life, and it's like, because my eye was jacked up that fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember.
And I know you fought with that,
sure.
with that eye hurt, so.
But as you said, and thank you, by the way, for the kind words. I appreciate it. But as you said, that's just life. Life's hard, and life's going to be a son of a bitch, and it's going to get you down. And I think this is what a lot of people need to realize. Is like, well, you've got two choices. You're going to feel sorry for yourself and throw in the towel and say, that's it, I'm done. Like, I'm not just talking about in the ring. I'm talking about in life when adversity hits you, because it's going to get us all. Life's hard. Life's not easy. Just to be able to maintain and have a roof over your head, to be able to wake up in a bed and pour yourself a coffee and get a bit of breakfast in the morning. We're the lucky ones. You know what I mean? We're very, very lucky. But even still, trying to get ahead in life and trying to have these materialistic things that people are so focused on, and I'm guilty of that as well. It's hard, and life's going to throw curveballs at you. People are going to get sick. People are going to die. You're going to encounter real issues. So it's important to compartmentalize the real issues against the bullshit issues. But even then, when you have these bullshit issues or whatever, what are you going to do? You're going to feel sorry for yourself? Or are you just going to fucking get on with it? You're going to dig deep and say, all right, well, this is what I've got to work with. These are the tools I've got.
These are
One
the
eye,
tools I've
two
got.
eyes. Who gives a shit?
And dude, that's how I feel out on the farm. You know, when I'm working and I'm trying to get stuff done, it's like I don't have the fanciest tools that all these other guys have, but dude, I'm getting the job done. And that's what I feel it's all about. What you just said, just getting the job done with the tools that you have.
And what are you farming on there?
Well, I've got some beef going. I've got some eggs going. I've got some pigs going, but they're actually not producing like they should. I believe that my male is either lame or something infertile. But we're going to have to put him down and eat him.
Damn.
Yeah, we're going to have to eat him, but we're going to get a new male.
Pork for Christmas.
That's right.
I'll let you go on this, buddy, because it's a Sunday and I don't want to take up the little free time that you have. What are the plans at Christmas? Get this fight done, and then what?
Just celebrate, brother. Gonna see some family, eat a whole bunch of food.
Beautiful.
And then I got to build a house. I got to go right back into construction because I'm having my first kid in 4 months, and I'm building a house for that kid and my wife and me because we don't have enough room in the trailer that I live in. I live in a real small trailer. Like my wife doesn't have a closet. And, you know, they like closets.
Oh, yeah.
They like doing their makeup and having their cabinets and stuff. We don't have cabinets. We don't have closets. We just pile up clothes and stack boxes. And we're just living that trailer life. You know what I mean? And we're about to be living that house life. And
but you could have had that anytime you wanted. You've had a real good, successful run in the UFC. I feel like you're on the verge of breaking into that big time. So what's your lady called? Aaron, you tell Aaron, you get picking out, well, you're building your own house, which again, you're more of a man than I'll ever be. You're building your house, get a double-sized closet, get picking out all those fancy things. You got a lot of success coming your way, Bryce. I truly do mean that. And I think in this sport, you're a great character. It's phenomenal what you've achieved. You're 16-1. I love talking to you. Thanks for taking the time on a Sunday afternoon when you're very busy about to fly to Vegas to shoot the shit a little bit with a one-eyed Cyclops. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, I love you too, brother, and thank you for having me on, man. It's always a great talking. I've been reading comments on here, dude. People love when we talk about.
Oh yeah, I know.
Check the comments, dude. It can't be denied. People love this stuff, and thank you for having me on because the people are loving it. I'm loving it. You're loving it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, but just real quick on that's why I enjoy these conversations because we're both respectful and we've got different opposing views. But it's nice to have those conversations. Do you know what I mean? And I think people enjoy it when there's two different opinions as opposed to two people just sitting there and, you know, agreeing with one another.
This is why these conversations are valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is why they're valuable is because I believe there's going to be a day, possibly in our generation, where I'm holding a 30-06 and you're holding whatever gun you want, and we're fighting side by side in a trench. I think that's why I like sharing ideas and talking to people. I think we're going to be allies in this war against evil. I think that the conversations like this is what brings people together.
Well, I hope that day doesn't come.
I hope it does.
Let's go.
Let's go, brother.
Let's go. Bryce, I'm going to let you go. My man, hey, best of luck this weekend. I truly mean that, Bryce. All the best. Go out there, do your thing. Just be Bryce Mitchell, and I wish you all the best.
Yes, sir, and thank you, brother. God bless.
Take care. Likewise, brother. Take care.
Bye-bye.